There is no God in Panem. In the trilogy and ballad, the word God never appears once. I did a keyword search in all of the ebooks for this. I promise you, it's not in there. And minor spoiler warning for Sunrise on the Reaping, by the way. You've been warned. In Sunrise, the word God is just in there as a quote from the Raven. In the world of the Hunger Games, society is fed the propaganda that the Capitol is all-powerful. There is nothing greater than them. The Capitol takes the place of God. The closest thing to religion are a few ritualistic customs in the districts, and the Capitol thinks they're ludicrous. Through the prequels, we see how these customs are diminished over time, along with knowledge of art, music, and poetry. Spiritual language shows up in the Covey music and old poems, but we're led to believe they're almost completely erased by Katniss's era, at least in District 12. In the time of the 10th games, it seems that District 2 people believe in an afterlife. They have a custom of putting breadcrumbs on the body of the deceased, so they have food on their journey back to wherever people come from. Corio calls it a primitive custom, because he's a jerk. And we don't know what becomes of this custom over time. In the trilogy, Katniss doesn't appear to be familiar with the concept of an afterlife. When people die, they are gone. That's it. There is one mention of the heavens in the trilogy, and it's Katniss noting that the only indication of the passage of time lies in the heavens, the subtle shift of the moon. She's referring to the literal sky, not a place someone goes to when they die when she says heavens. But in the prequels, there's more talk of heaven and the sweet old hereafter in music and poetry. Lucy Gray sings a whole song about the hereafter, and this same song appears in Sunrise as a funeral song. You're headed for heaven, the sweet old hereafter, and I've got one foot in the door, but before I can fly up, I've loose ends to tie up right here in the old there before. Flying up to heaven. These lyrics were written by Suzanne Collins. It's not a public domain song or poem like The Raven. Based on Sunrise, Haymitch seems to believe in the afterlife or souls, and it makes sense due to his exposure to poetry via Lenore Dove. He holds on to this belief that Lenore Dove comes to him and talks to him. Haymitch also knows about angels. He only heard the word in The Raven, and then Lenore Dove told him angels are humans with wings who live in a place called heaven. Some people believe, she said, it's a possible destination after death, a good world for people to go to. In the trilogy and ballad, the word angel never appears, but Katniss sees depictions of baby angels, cherubs. On the ceiling of the District 11 Justice Building, she notes, designs of fruit and flowers are carved into the molding and small fat children with wings. She doesn't recognize these as having religious significance. They're just winged babies. What's really interesting, though, is that mentions of hell and ghosts are featured across the series. These terms are more on the negative side and associated with death. No happy heaven or angels. The way hell is used in the series isn't any sort of biblical hell. It's used to indicate suffering or for emphasis, like get the hell out of there. They'll make your life hell in the arena. And all hell broke loose. Characters don't seem to think of hell in relation to the afterlife. Ghosts aren't a big thing in the trilogy. It's just in there 3 times, the first 2 being used as a description of something faint or small, a ghost of a smile, and if I'd stood even a ghost of a chance. The only time ghost seems to have any spiritual meaning is at the end of Mockingjay, when Katniss creeps around her house, walking in silent sock feet so as not to awaken the ghosts, because she's thinking about all of the dead people. Another ghost adjacent thing is how Katniss thinks of the hanging tree. She goes, his corpse called out for her to flee. That's weird, obviously, the talking corpse bit. In ballad, there's more talk of ghosts. Corio ridicules Lucy Gray's namesake song. He goes, oh, a ghost story. Ugh, boo, so ridiculous. But it's established that the Lucy Gray in the song is a ghost. Ghosts don't leave footprints because they're like air. And at the end of the book, Corio says how Lucy Gray became a ghost too. Was she alive, dead, a ghost who haunted the wilderness? Perhaps no one would ever really know. Following suit, in Sunrise, Haymitch talks about ghosts in relation to Covey music, one of the ghosts that inhabit Lenore Dove's songs. Haymitch talks the most about the afterlife since Lenore Dove had strong beliefs about it. Haymitch thinks, I have no idea what happens when we die, but Lenore Dove believes nothing ever dies, and we just move from one world to the next, like the Covey did from town to town. And he tells Lenore Dove that his ghost will hunt down her ghost. In The Raven, there's mentions of ghosts as well. We have a limited perspective across the series, so it's definitely possible people have stronger religious beliefs or practices, but overall, the protagonists and characters in the series are godless. And I know this is such a nitpick, but in the movies, they say things like, oh my god, and it really bothers me. In the first first movie, Katniss also says damn a few times, which is a word that never appears in any of the 5 books. Do you think after the revolution, religion started popping up in Panem? Let me know in the comments.